Vimbiz, true integration of scheduling, rentals, and engineering. Thank you for joining us live at NAB in Las Vegas. Asset Management, presented by Tom Levesque and Alain Arsenault.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Vimbiz demonstration. So my name is Alan. I work with the crew here. So as you're well aware, there are many public broadcasters all around the world. I work for one for 30 years. It's the CBC Radio-Canada in Canada, French and English national public broadcaster. So there are three main facilities, one in Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, but there are also radio and broadcast facilities from coast to coast and regional reporters' office in each province and territory. So I'm saying all this because it translates to hundreds and thousands of individual pieces of equipment, expensive equipment, cameras, lighting, microphones, computers, transmission equipment, and more. So managers do their research online at trade shows like this one here before requesting the purchase of new gear. Once that piece of equipment is received, its life cycle needs to be tracked efficiently to get the most out of it. So manage assets and products in a clear and efficient manner. Manage service requests easily and rapidly. So the following demonstration by my colleague will show you how Vimbiz can help you do all this and more in our engineering solution demo. Take it away, Tom.
Thanks, and I appreciate it. Appreciate the introduction, and welcome to this presentation on asset management. But really what I want to talk about today is a lot more than asset management, is the engineering solutions that offer Vimbiz. So when we talk about engineering, it's everything that touches the equipment asset, the entire life cycle. So today's demo will focus on everything from the acquisition to the asset, the reception of it, you're inventorying that asset with a barcode in your buildings, but also it's maintenance, it's repair, preventive maintenance, etc. Basically, up to the day that you write it off because it's no longer usable, right? Vimbiz offers more than that, but today we'll specifically focus on engineering. Some of our customers also have an internal rentals operation where they manage the check-outs and check-ins of equipment. And of course, the scheduling aspect of Vimbiz, we had a demo this morning. We'll have demos on all these areas of the solution daily. If you're interested to seeing rentals, we have a demo at 3 p.m. Scheduling and another part of scheduling, we have demos tomorrow morning at 10 and 11. But let's focus on engineering. We have a worldwide presence. We're in 10 different countries. Many of these customers selected our solution through public RFPs. It's the case with these national broadcasters at the very top. But even though they started and selected Vimbiz for scheduling and time cards, they ended up expanding their use of Vimbiz later and managing their equipment assets and all their engineering operation in Vimbiz as well. It's the same thing for these other broadcasters that actually selected Vimbiz specifically to manage the logistics of their equipment, but they also after that expanded their use of Vimbiz in our scheduling solution. So really, you decide as an organization what's your most important challenge that you're trying to solve today, and we have a solution for you. Vimbiz is basically a suite of all these integrated solutions, and you decide where you want to start. We're on a tight schedule, so if you have any questions, please keep them until the end, and I will try my best to answer them. Without further ado, I'd like to jump into the application. The first thing I want to show you in Vimbiz is the concept of a product catalog. So every customer we have their own catalog of products, I should say. And a product in Vimbiz can either be an asset, right, with a barcode, or it could be in stock, in a stockroom somewhere where you don't have a barcode, but it's very important for you to know how many you have in stock at all time. The reason why some of these products are neither an asset nor an inventory stockroom products is that we have a purchasing system allowing you to request the acquisition of a product you don't yet have in your inventory. In fact, the very first step that we'll cover in this demo is talking about the acquisition of new equipment and how Vimbiz can help you with that process. But before I go there, I want to talk about the fact that the product catalog basically allows you to categorize your products by type. For example, here, if I click on 4K camera, I will see all my 4K cameras that I have, or at least that I work with. But I also have tools like searching tools allowing me to quickly find, if I type properly, the product that I'm after. So if I open up this studio camera as an example, all the important information that is true for all 21 of these cameras that I have in my inventory is entered this one time at the product level, right? Who's the manufacturer, the model number, perhaps important URLs to have access to the information, electronic files. If you don't have a field to track the information that you want to track in VimBiz, we offer you the ability to create an unlimited amount of specification fields that can either be tied to the product or the asset. We also have the ability to pre-configure related items to that camera. Why is that important? Well, if you service that camera, you repair that camera, it might be interesting to know the typical parts that you require to repair that asset, right? So that's where the relationships between products becomes very important. We have the exact same thing when we deal with the actual camera. If I open one of these cameras, it has its profile as well. I also have the ability to create relationships between assets. I'll get back to the detail of the asset later. First, I want to go through an example where many users would have requested that new equipment be acquired by the company. And this is the example I have here. You can see that I'm categorizing my product requests by supplier because typically I would process a PO on a per supplier basis, right? So in this case, I'm going to go ahead with this product request that requested 3 new cameras to be acquired. Me processing this product request will basically send me through an authorization process. I, as a user, may not have the authorization level required to say, yay, let's go with that purchase. So I need to ask my supervisor to go ahead and authorize a purchase. So me sending this for an authorization will notify the right people within the organization that's basically next in line in authorizing that request. I'm going to simulate that by logging in as Paul here. As long as I don't make a mistake. There we go. So Paul would have been notified that some work is in his, is on his side. So I look at all the product requests that are waiting for Paul's authorization. We're going to go with Sony of Canada. We are from Canada, by the way. That's why it's the one I recognize in the list, right? So Paul has the ability to review all the hard work that Mitch put together in researching the supplier that these cameras should be purchased from. All this important information that the requester did to back up his suggestion of going with supplier A versus supplier B can be attached as an electronic document here under files. So once Paul is satisfied, he has a proper authorization limit, he basically goes ahead and authorizes the purchase. Now, VimBiz has a full purchasing module. Fun fact, Major League Baseball Network recently celebrated having purchased well over $10 million worth of equipment using VimBiz. I thought that was interesting. Anyway, and typically, it's either that you work with VimBiz purchasing module entirely by sending purchase orders to your suppliers, or you interface VimBiz with your financial system and the PO process continues in your financial system. But now that the PO, let's assume that the PO has been sent to the supplier, it was approved, and the next step in the process would be to receive these cameras. So I'm going to receive these 3 cameras, and I'm going to convert them as assets. Now, I brought a little toy with me here, my scanner, and the reason I brought that is to show you that this particular form, and I have some bogus barcodes here, was designed such that I shouldn't have to touch the keyboard nor the mouse. If I take the right page, it's going to help. Just by scanning wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I already did that demo earlier, and I forgot to delete these assets. So it's going to complain that my asset numbers already exist, but I'm going to ignore that for now and just go through. So basically, VimBiz jumps from cell to cell, allows me to very quickly scan new barcodes, new serial number, and assets are saved in the database. And my toy is back right there next to me. Okay, so I'm going to confirm the reception, and quickly, I just created these 3 new assets that came in the reception area. The next part of the demo I want to show you is we saw the product catalog earlier. Now we're going to have a look at managing assets, right? Where it looks similar, and this is something you'll notice in VimBiz. You have a lot of consistency from form to form, something that helps the learning curve, to be honest. When we train new users on VimBiz, because there's some consistency throughout VimBiz, if you learn one module, chances are you learn the second one much faster because of that consistency. In the Manage Assets form, I have the same searching panel at the top that I saw in my product catalog. On my left panel, I have my physical location. This is where my inventory would be. Perhaps I manage inventory in different regions. Within my region, I'll have my physical buildings. A building can be broken down in racks. And if you want to be very specific as to where your assets are, you can break down your room in racks and shelves. Down to the shelf level is where we go. Each layer of that physical hierarchy can be barcoded, all right? Why is that important? Well, if I want to quickly do the inventory of a room, I would use a tool like the new asset scanning session. And if I scan the barcode of my room, VimBiz will detect where I am in the building. And if I continue scanning these assets, VimBiz right now, because I told it to do so, will update the inventory date and possibly the physical location. So very quickly, I can do the inventory of an entire room. Some of our customers actually use RFID tags to do this. So you can imagine walking around the room with an RFID scanner, how quick you can do the inventory of that room. Why is it important to update the inventory date? Many of our customers have to do it because of auditors. It's the case with the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. They basically implemented VimBiz many years ago because of auditors, all right? And maybe you're in the same boat. I don't know. So let's save out of there. And, okay. The next part that I want to show, and Michelle, what happened? What's going on?
I'm so sorry to interrupt, Tom, but I was in the middle of doing a shoot, and everything was going well. But then I tripped and fell, and the camera that I was working with unfortunately got damaged. So I'm going to need to file a little service request through our mobile app to get it looked at, unfortunately.
Okay, well, that at least you're taking the time to submit that service request. Now, you're right there producing. That accident happens. You're on your phone. You create a new service request. I like it. So camera fell, right? That's what happened?
Yep.
Okay. And you scan the camera with the camera of your phone, I presume?
Yep. You can scan it. There's a barcode on it, so you could technically just scan it directly through your phone.
And you would provide very important information. Is it audio problem? Is it a video problem? What is it you think happened? So you would provide very good notes for the technician to be able to prepare ahead. Okay.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And perhaps, can you attach a picture of that?
I sure can.
All right. So you would take a picture of the camera. It's not this, by the way, right, guys? But this is an emulator. But let's just keep on with the exercise nonetheless. Now, I commend you for that. You submitting that service request is basically allowing your technical team to get ready, right? That camera is on the field, but they can already, based on the information you provide them, the images you provided them, perhaps they know that they'll need to order a part to repair that camera. Speed, time is money. These assets are very expensive. Maximizing their uptime is of the utmost importance. And having the ability to submit that service request on the field using her smartphone will allow you to do that. Now, what would have happened in this case, the service request is submitted. The coordinator of the center receive a notification by email, hey, there's a new ticket that's just been submitted. That person, that manager, coordinator that we typically call them, will then see the incoming service request and assign it to a technician. Assigning it to a technician, now remember that service request, she scanned that camera. So the service request is tied to the product which is a Panasonic HD whatever camera, tied to that product, I will know how many hours of experience each of my technician has working on that camera. Because maybe I want to take the technician that is most experienced, right, to save some time. Or some of our customers require that a technician is certified to work on the product before assigning the service request to that technician. I'm just going to assign it to Mitch in this case. Mitch would, in this particular case, receive an email as well that work has been assigned to him. So the next part in the process would be that Mitch manages his service request. He could do that on his smartphone as well via VimBiz Mobile. Mitch sees the service request, opens it, starts documenting his work using what we call actions. Each action can basically track how long in hours it took to service the camera. Maybe I needed parts to repair it. Well, guess what? Because this camera was pre-configured with related products, remember that little piece earlier? If I select, I only want to see the related products of that camera, those are the only products I will see, which makes me save time as a technician because I know precisely which part that I need. Oh, wait a minute. Am I going to buy that? Why would I buy that, people? Stefan, why would I buy that? I'm being told that I'm still under warranty here. Don't buy that. You can save tens of thousands of dollars being reminded that a camera is still under warranty, right? And that's what VimBiz does here. So that part, I may already have it in my stock, but if I don't, I better not pay for it. It's still under warranty. Okay. Whew. How am I doing? On time? I'm doing great. I could keep on going all afternoon long. We're in Las Vegas. We're having a good time, aren't we? Yes, we are. Okay. The last part of my demo is what happens when some assets need to be written off, right? They've reached their end of life, and we need to change their status to render them inactive. Well, we offer good tools for that too. One of them is our pick list. The concept of a pick list is that you create a list of equipment that you gather from all sorts of places in your building, either by importing it from an Excel file, by adding them manually, or you've guessed it. I told you I like that toy. You've guessed it. You can create a pick list using barcode scanning. I'm just throwing those pages away. It's so fun. So me scanning these. Have I got the wrong one again? I did. I threw the wrong page on the floor. See? When you have too much fun, that's what happens. You make mistakes, but that's fine. So by scanning these barcodes, I get some assets that are ready to be written off. Now I can do it. I just like doing this. And I right-click in my list. I do what I call a bulk change. Bulk changing asset basically allowing me to very, very quickly say, hey, you know what? These are now sent to recycle. And I want the written off date to be, I don't know, maybe I did that Friday, so I'm going to change it. And just like that, I've updated all these assets in one click of a button. They are now inactive, and their written off date has been enabled for me, right? So, the summary of this all, why use VimBiz to manage your assets, the entire engineering side of your operation? Well, you will know what the total cost of ownership is of each of your asset. You've seen it from the purchase through its entire life, its repair, its maintenance, et cetera, et cetera. You will know where they are at all time. You'll be able to quickly update the inventory date, so do your inventory of all your rooms very, very quickly, as we saw. You'll keep a history of all the service requests that you've performed, not only per asset, but because an asset is linked to a product, per product as well. So knowing which product line performs better than the other ultimately should improve your purchasing decisions as well, right? So thank you a lot for your participation. I'm here if you have any questions. I'm not going to throw any more paper on the ground because I'm pretty much out. Oh no, see? Still have one. All right, thanks for your time, guys.